It's now my pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker. Our commencement speaker today is Dr. Angela Belcher. Dr. Belcher received her BS in Creative Studies with an emphasis in biology from the University of California, Santa Barbara, and her PhD in inorganic chemistry at UCSB in 1997. Following her postdoctoral research in electrical engineering at UCSB, she joined the chemistry department and faculty at the University of Texas at Austin. And then in 2012, she joined the faculty at MIT and now holds the W.M. Keck Chair in Energy. She is faculty in the Department of Biological Engineering and the Department of Material Science and Engineering and the Koch Institute for Integrative Cancer Research. In 2002, she founded the company Cambrios Technologies Incorporated, and in 2007, she founded Soloria Technologies. In 2009, Rolling Stone magazine listed her as one of the top 100 people changing the country. And in 2007, Time magazine named her a hero for her research related to climate change. She was named Research Leader of the Year by Scientific America, and she is a MacArthur Genius Fellow, a Packard Fellow, and an Alfred P. Sloan Fellow. And even more important than that to me, our children went to daycare together, and I've learned that she is an absolute wonderful human being. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Angela Belcher.
Well, thank you for that kind introduction and two wonderful speeches. Good morning, graduates, now fellow engineers, and welcome family and friends. It's a joy to be here today to help celebrate your accomplishments with your professors, family, and friends. I can say that as a professor myself, that our enthusiasm and support for you on this day is enormous. This is my favorite time of the year because we're here to celebrate your accomplishments, your hard work, dedication, and your extremely wise decision to become an engineer. To us, it's somewhat the end of a journey as we've helped guide and shepherd you through your path of engineering core, your major classes, rigorous labs, and finally, your senior design project. You didn't choose the easiest path through college. At times, you may have even felt like you were pushed to your elastic limit. I've looked at the requirements and the courses that you've mastered to get this diploma, and by following this course, you've chosen a direction that has many, many paths that could have a substantial impact on society and our planet. As your mentors, when we wear this regalia, we do so with pride because we're welcoming you into our profession. It's recognition, a job well done. But today I wear this regalia with hope for our future, that you as the next generation of engineers, doctors, and innovators and educators will join us and ultimately transcend us in addressing the world's most pressing challenges that we face. I've said many times over the last few years that now is the best and most exciting time to be an engineer. There's no shortage of opportunities for us to work on or interesting problems to address. And there's never been a time when we've had more opportunity to make an impact. And I can promise you it's going to be an exciting run. But where do you start? I'm an engineer, so naturally every problem has an engineering solution. My friends have told me that one of the things they like best about me is when I hear a problem, I say, we have to find a solution. There has to be a better way. Let's fix it. As engineers, we tend to be can-do kind of people. Right now, there's so many opportunities for us and for you to use your engineering know-how, creativity, and can-do approach to develop innovative new approaches to challenges such as clean energy, the environment, healthcare, and water. I thought I'd highlight a few of these areas, but there's many more that I think you can think of as well. For energy, how do we double the amount of energy need for our expanding population while mitigating the impact on our environment? What advances in solar and energy storage will decrease or eliminate our dependency on fossil fuel? How can we model, predict, cure, and prevent emerging infectious disease? How will we produce, distribute, and protect water and food supplies for over 1 billion people? How can inexpensive individual health care be accessible to everyone? What technologies can be developed and distributed so that every child on the planet has access to high-quality education? Now, I'll agree that all of these challenges require social and political solutions as well, but I guarantee you they will all require important engineering solutions. From a personal perspective, I didn't start out focused on these types of issues. I was interested in learning. I started out pre-med, and I fell in love with molecules my first year. I didn't expect it. It wasn't part of the grand plan, but I continued to follow this interest in proteins. It became my passion. I actually stayed in graduate school an extra year, and I thought, this is the best job in the world. I can do this forever. After 5 years, I was pushed out. It's not a job, after all. So I went on to graduate school at the same university. I was told this could be a big mistake. I chose a field I knew very little about, solid-state inorganic chemistry, for my PhD, because I was inspired by a professor, and I thought this could be an interesting interface with my biochemistry background. I was accepted to the program, barely, since I didn't have the prerequisites, and I was warned, this is a bad idea. I struggled at first, but excelled in my research in natural biomaterials and understanding how abalones made shells. And by the end, I was actually the first to complete my PhD degree in my class. One experience that stood out in graduate school is one of my best friends and I were very stressed. We were studying for our qualifying exams. And we were in Santa Barbara, California, so we were sitting on a bench overlooking the ocean. It was a nice place to be. And we were debating some of the finer aspects of group theory. And we were stressed about our exams. My PhD professor walked by and said, "Graduate school, that was the best time of my life." And we smiled, and he walked away, and we said, his life must be terrible now. But those times went on to include many more ups and downs, and I realized that graduate school is such a unique time in life where there's such a concentration and focus on a problem, your problem, and you're in charge of solving the solution. Now I tell my graduate students when they sit in my office, this could be the best time of your life, and I really mean it. Still, wanting to add more tools and perspectives, I did a postdoc in electrical engineering, which brought me where I am today. To grow and assemble materials, to use viral engineering to grow and assemble materials for energy, electronics, and medicine. When I wrote my first grant on genetically coding biological viruses to grow and assemble semiconductors for electronic materials, one reviewer wrote, "She's insane," with an exclamation point. This was my first month as a professor, and I was devastated. But I picked myself up, and I dusted myself off, and I kept going. I believed that biology had evolved the ability to make exquisite inorganic materials, look at shells and bones, and biology could do so much more given the opportunity. So we developed a system to do billions of experiments at a time to find that genetic link to build batteries, fuel cells, solar cells, and new catalysts and imaging agents for finding tiny tumors. That was 15 years, 2 companies, close to 40 PhD students, and thousands of undergraduate students ago. I should also include my 2 favorite biomaterials in my list, my 2 little boys. As I'm standing here today, I can truly say that I love my career. I did not take a conventional path. I'm an engineering professor without an engineering degree. I would not change a single thing about my path. It has made me the engineer and the person I am today. I think I have the best job in the world. It's not always easy, but it's almost always interesting, rewarding, and fun. Because I didn't start out as an engineer, for this address I looked up online, what does it mean to be an engineer? One site had 26 steps to follow, starting in high school, to plot out your course to become an engineer. So I skipped over that because we didn't even have the internet when I was in high school, so I'm sure I didn't follow those steps. But I did find some jokes. You know you're an engineer when? I looked at those. Some were pretty funny. Many were outdated. But you guys are already engineers. So I wrote some with the help of my students. And I thought it would be more appropriate to say, other people will know you're an engineer when. So here's my best shot. Other people will know you're an engineer when you 3D print your toothbrush because it's faster than walking to the store to get a new one. You see the world for what it really is, a collection of loads, springs, dashpots, foes, for loops, and if-thens. When your friend says they're under stress, you wonder, is it tensile or compressive? You spend 2 hours coding to solve for something it would take you a few minutes to solve with a calculator because you can. Others will know you're an engineer when an exchange student wants to learn more about your culture and you ask, bacterial or mammalian? When you see a sign that says the average wait time for a table is 15 minutes, and you ask, is that the average, the median, and what's the standard deviation? Your friend tells you have the flu, and you ask him, what isotype? And you compare Western blots. This one I borrowed. Your professor asks where your project design is, and you claim to have accidentally determined its momentum so precisely that according to Heisenberg, it could be anywhere in the universe. You're plotting your relationship or career trajectory in MATLAB, finding you get stuck in an infinite loop. And finally, when you think it might be easier to finish designing that invisibility cloak you started than to actually clean your apartment before your family arrives. These are the ones that my undergraduates in my class approved as funny. They said, they'll probably be funny, at least in the moment. I want to leave you with this. The friends you've made, the lab partners with whom you've collaborated, and the teams you've built through projects will mirror the kinds of collaborations and strengthen your skills and productivity going forward. All of my best and most rewarding scientific accomplishments have come from strong and meaningful collaborations. And most importantly, I believe engineering is a service profession. We can, if so choose, engineer, innovate, invent solutions that can greatly benefit our community and society. It will take imagination, commitment, collaboration, and the desire to think harder and reach farther than you might have thought was possible. You have already demonstrated many of these abilities by your presence here today. Today is not really the end of a journey. You're not really exiting the loop, or in biological terms, you've not hit that stop codon. But you have imported all the necessary dependencies, and now you can write your own script. You can consider this to be your preprocessor directive to execute a new chapter. Splice together those genes that will be your own unique transcript. You've survived the stress and strain, even when you thought you might buckle under pressure. You've demonstrated resilience, determination, and great elasticity. Strap yourself in. It's going to be a fantastic ride. Congratulations, graduates and family. Thank you to my students for help with my jokes and puns, and for always pushing me to be better. And thank you to the BU community for letting me share in this special day. Congratulations, graduates.